I'm sorry. Would you like to talk sports again? I've
Just
talked
talk
about
sports.
DK all day yesterday, and all I did is make people mad at me.
Will
so
you
trying to
talk
have a little
sports?
fun today.
Can I hear some Mike Macdonald? Can you just play me some Mike Macdonald?
The DK stuff is more interesting because I think he gave us a little bit more of a window in, so I'd rather play that for you because I think there's more, honestly, there's more juice there.
Okay.
So let me play you a little bit of DK Metcalf stuff from yesterday, and it was, as usual, a wild ride. Here he is talking about their team meeting on Monday.
How can I best say this? Monday was a very much needed team meeting where, Mike just told us the truth of, it's not anything the other teams are doing. We're just hurting ourselves. Penalties, giving the ball away, not getting the ball on defense. So he just basically told us the truth, of what we need to clean up, moving forward. And we all took it, the right way, and we're ready to finish the season.
We knew last week after talking to Macdonald that there was going to be a pretty serious conversation, right? A serious team meeting. That was the best glimpse into what that actually looked like.
And that is exactly what Mike Macdonald should do and must do. Right? Hey, man, and even that, I'm holding you accountable, but equally myself. And we've got to put you guys in the right spots. This isn't because we're some inferior team. We're not, Bowling Green. We're the Seattle Seahawks, and we believe in you guys. And I think what is super critical, man, Sunday, and I've said this all week, this is like Psyche Sunday. This is about the psychology and the belief of a team that's going to fly, 5 hours back with one another, and the difference it would make to be 4-3, and the difference it would make to stop some of this negative run game and not taking the ball away and inability to stop the run. Just end that stuff. Go run for 100 yards, K9. Go hold Bijan Robinson and Algier to less than 100 yards, right? Find a way to sack fumble Kirk Cousins and just go win this game. And hopefully in doing so, Salk, right? Just and give me cut number 5, because Mike Macdonald talks about the process from a psychology standpoint could really use a win this weekend.
I told the guys, look, we got to stick to our process and keep making it better, keep making improvements, keep attacking, keep playing, keep believing. We're doing a lot of great things. We've won 3 games, kind of doing it our formula, our style of football. We understand why we've lost the games we've lost. So the focus is about playing really solid, complementary football and playing your best football individually as well. And so, what are the steps that you need to take to do that on a daily basis?
A time where some of these players, especially the young players, Salk, and even those players coming off of the 14 years of a Pete regime are like, come on, I want this process to work. I want to fix these things that have been real challenges for us. And only 60 minutes will do that, right? None of the talk, none of all this kumbaya, none of this great practice. Nope, those 60 minutes can hopefully do that. And that would be the biggest just psychological boost to these guys to move them forward. How is your driver, by the way?
It's a work in progress. Like a lot of things, Brock. It's a work in progress. It's a big week for Mike Macdonald.
Yes.
It's a big week for these Seahawks.
It's a big week for DK.
Yeah, it's a big week for everyone involved, right? 4-3 and 3-4 in and of themselves aren't that different. But losers of 4 straight with Buffalo coming in next week, that's a hard situation to be in, because then all of the gains it feels like you make in meetings, in practices, etc., can get thrown right out the window if you don't then see it manifest itself into success on the field, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's like that 5, 6, 7, game losing streak in baseball, right? Like you got to have a stopper. Somebody has just got to stop this. And the biggest key is you can't look for somebody else to do it. Wow, come on, man. I remember being in some of these moments, largely, again, as a backup, right? Just watching everybody else do it, but like, come on, Peyton, make a play. Come on, kid, come on. Somebody's got to step up. Somebody's got to rise to the occasion and be a difference maker in this moment. And in particular, I think DK, right, coming off of a couple fumbles, coming off a volatile game on Thursday night. And where Jonathan Vilma and Kenny Albert and their producer and their director, where the cameras are going to be. Cameras are going to find number 14. They just naturally do, because he's got that kind of persona and that kind of presence. And, when he goes, and he goes really well, and he makes contested catches, and he wins, and he scores, good things typically follow for all the rest of the guys.
Well, he did give some insight into the conversation he had with Ryan Grubb that was caught on camera.
I mean, we're losing. We're getting 3 and outs. If anybody isn't upset about that, then, you're playing the wrong sport. I'm a very competitive person, and I like winning, and, that just goes into it. Me telling Grubb, it was Grubb who I was talking to on the headset, just telling him what I see. We got to run by defenders. That's what I was telling him.
What do you think Grubb said on the other line?
Not much.
Thanks, DK. Appreciate it. Yeah, I got you.
Thanks for the advice, pal.
Oh, you want me to call plays where you can run by people? Like I've done all year long for you. Like, the big plays that even in the game that will come and will follow. You know what I need you to do? I need you to run that little pivot route. And when the ball's thrown to the outside and you got a guy hanging on you, I need you to make that catch to move the chain so we don't have a 3 and out. How about that? How about, you do your job as well? Because I'm equally competitive up in this booth, and I am trying to set you guys all up for success. So, yeah, you know what I feel about. I'm such a competitive person. You know what I feel about. Like, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Show me that, and show me with your discipline to do all the right things. So then late in the game, Salk, when you really need it, you don't just go freelance and leave me, that being Grubb, and your quarterback, more importantly, right, in a position where they fail because of your lack of detail. And, good on him to at least own it, right? I mean, he said that very clearly, and that was not just talk. Like, yeah, man, I can't do that. I got to stay sharp by drifting, let the guy undercut it, and those things can't happen, and they can't keep happening.
Yeah, I do love, you've made this point before, not about DK Metcalf necessarily, but just in general about that phrase, I'm so competitive, et cetera. And I think you've sold me on it. I think you over the years convinced me that you're right, that phrase is pretty meaningless.
Yeah.
Right? You show if you're in this league, not everyone is competitive, but almost all of the guys are super competitive. And you show that, on how you perform on a football field, on how you compete in other little games and stuff around, whether it's Pete's tip drills or, shots on a basketball court or dominoes or whatever it is you're playing. Like, I do understand that those competitive guys, you can tell usually who they are.
Yep.
But if your conduct is detrimental, it doesn't really your competitiveness becomes counterproductive.
100%.
Right? So then it's not really about competition and loving and winning and hating to lose. It's about we all like to win. We all hate to lose.
Yep.
But what are you doing to make sure that you're in the right position to actually get the result everyone wants?
See, I think if I would hear him say, man, I'm just an incredibly aggressive person. Like, I'm just aggressive by nature. Like, okay, I can live with that. Now, be the discipline on the other side of that, right? And channel that aggression to all go the right way. But to say I'm super competitive, everybody is super competitive. Everybody to get to that point in their life, unless they are just the, most freakish athletic genetic, which there are some, Percy Harvins and others that are just so unbelievably gifted that maybe they aren't hyper competitive with it. But I think the better term for DK is, man, I am just wired really aggressively.
And that's great.
Yes.
And
that is a great thing.
But you have to have other parts of the persona. You have to be more fully rounded. And this is what DJ was saying the other day. You can't be a 1 or 2 tool player. If you want to be one of the top receivers in the game, you got to be 5 tools. And I think it's fairly safe to say that that's not an accurate description of what we've seen so far.